this is a quick practice using the foam roller to help open up the upper back, the thoracic, and the shoulders. These are just a few things you can do with the roller. There's so many more, but you're going to start with a little thoracic rollout and flexion extension. So roller goes under the lower ribs, think maybe right at the bottom tips of the scapula, or a little bit higher if it feels better for you. Interlace your hands behind your head. Your feet can stay grounded. As you inhale, just really softly go over into extension. The head is fully supported in the hands here, so the neck's not doing a lot of work. And then reverse it. So it is abdominal work, but you're thinking more about the movement through the thoracic spine there as being the important part, and the opening up here across the chest too. The elbows really open as you go into extension. And then bringing it up. Keep the head heavy in the hands. Pull the heels in a little bit. Lift your hips just enough to unweight the pelvis, and then roll through your thoracic. You can see I'm coming all the way onto the balls of my feet there, melting your rib cage over the roller. You might get a couple pops here. Rolling your shirt. You might get a couple little adjustments through the thoracic spine as you go there. And head is easy. Ribs are soft, so you're not tensing up and pulling away from the roller here. And then hips sit down right about the place that you started. Pull back a little bit. So right about the same place, right below the shoulder blades or the scapula that you started on your ribs. And then you're just gonna go from side to side here. So you're gonna roll across. The roller will give your lats and connect into your rotator cuff muscles a little bit here for a massage. So going from side to side, if you're rolling over your scapula bones, it might feel a little bit like a speed bump, like you're bumping over a speed bump. It also probably won't be as tender if you just get below it. And I say probably because we're all different there. You're gonna stay on this side this time and do just a little bit of side bend action here. And this is a really tender spot for me. If it's too tender for you, you might put your elbow down and just breathe into it. You might even need to back off a little from the spot that you're at. Sometimes you gotta go into the suburbs before you can hit downtown. Kind of warming that area up before you go right into the meat of it, the tenderest spot. You're always working in a constructive discomfort zone with myofascial release rather than any type of destructive comfort. And go back to that side to side if that felt good or great. Switching to the other side, either through the side bends, or if you need to just hold and back off on the pressure a little bit, go for that. And then sitting all the way up. The last thing we're gonna do is a practice to work on the tracking of the humerus in the shoulder socket. So just tracking that bone through inward rotation and external rotation. And we're gonna use the foam roller to take a lot of the weight out of the arm so that the bone can hopefully just track in the socket rather than the muscles, because oftentimes we have imbalances between the front and the back of the shoulder musculature causing inward rotation or other issues, weakness in the back. So here we're going to try to take the musculature out of it and just let the bones go through the range of motion. Start on your side. I'm going to go away from you so that you can really see the shoulder that I'm working. It's not really working, it's not really stretching, the shoulder that I'm focusing on here. So I have my right arm on top, laying on my left side. You start with the roller underneath your wrist and you're internally rotated. So your thumb's facing the floor and your palm is away from you. As you inhale, you're just gonna start rolling the roller away from you and spiraling that arm bone in the socket until it won't go any further, which lands it with the palm facing you, with the thumb down and the pinky up. And then reverse that spiral all the way back to start, maybe even a little bit further. So you're trying to have a heavy arm and a heavy head, spiraling through the torso, spiraling through the arm. One more time on this side. You can take a little bit of adjusting to get the roller in just the right place. And if you're doing this at home on your own time, I would suggest doing even more repetitions. If you're going to add this into your repertoire, maybe even doing 6 to 8 repetitions so that you can really get into the groove of it and soften into that. So you start internally rotated. I'm on my left arm up now, rolling the roller away from me and landing an external rotation. Spiraling the arm bone in the socket back into internal rotation. Notice how my head is heavy on the floor and I'm just rolling across the back of my head. All the way through. And adjust the roller as you need to. Reverse that spiral. One more. Roll, 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 roll. And all the way back. All right, there's a really quick, nice shoulder practice. Feel free to comment with any questions that you have. Thank you.